Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So today, just something that I was reading online actually, and it made me want to make a little video because it connected with the game I was playing at that very moment. I just saw a thing which was rating the 10 most difficult turn-based tactical games, and I've played quite a lot. And some of the games I played were listed in the most difficult. Other side was, I wouldn't say other side would be something I'd pick as one of the most difficult. It can be challenging, but I've not found it as difficult as others. Maybe that's just me, but I wouldn't say it's one of the most difficult. XCOM 2, yes, mainly because of the strange things it does, which is, for example, you don't have shots that are definite hits. Even if they're like 99%, they can still miss, those kind of things. But I think especially with XCOM 2, once you get into the game a bit more, even more of the Chosen, and you've got better armour, better weapons, it's not super, it's difficult, but I'm just thinking in general, is it like shockingly difficult? No. And then other games what were listed, that games I haven't played, Tactics Ogre, Battle Brothers, some of the games I don't know. I haven't played. Other games I have played that weren't listed, which is like Phantom Doctrine, for example, which I'd say is probably as difficult as XCOM 2 sometimes in the way it plays. Anyway, the reason I decided to make this video was one game that wasn't listed, and I instantly thought this is probably the most difficult tactical turn-based game I've ever played, is Phoenix Point. It's on a different level of difficulty to XCOM 2 or Other Side or Phantom Doctrine. Like I said, some of the games I've not played, so I'm not going to say it's more difficult than them, but of the games I've played tactically, and that's quite a lot, I would say it's by far and away the most difficult. If you play with all the DLCs as well, it's a nightmare basically. You've got all the things that XCOM have, which is you've got possible misses when you've got high percentage of hits, things like that, but you've got enemies that evolve much quicker than they do in XCOM 2. In XCOM 2 you've got, the Advent forces get slightly better armor and get better weapons, and some of the things basically they just armor levels up and their weapons level up a bit, but it's the same armor and the same weapons really. In Phoenix Point you've got all manner of things that change. The alien things grow guns in their arms and shields in their arms. Plus you've got all these different factions like Forsaken and the Pure. The Pure are really annoying. They're kind of like android things. They have shields and they're very hard to kill, and they have rocket packs and things. So that's just the enemies. Then you've got all the different factions which you can alienate, and that can be very difficult as well. You've got this constant, as you can see on my map, you've got this constant mist spreading everywhere, which is causing damage to all your structures, which doesn't happen in XCOM 2 at all. So you've got all that going on. In the DLCs you've got these flying ships, and there's a flying beastie thing that comes and attacks settlements. You've got ship conflict, which is very difficult. The general conflict is difficult. There's absolutely tons of different missions. You can see on the left I've been keeping up with different missions as much as I can, but there's always new things turning up. You've got alien bases, which are lairs and nests and all manner of things like that. You've got this thing with corruption where your soldiers get infected and you have to keep using a certain substance to remove the corruption, and as you can see on the top panel where the purple thing is, I've only got 25 left because I've used so much healing soldiers. You've got to try and capture aliens, which is very difficult because the thing where you're trying to shoot them with a tranquilizer or hit them is very, very difficult. Sometimes it's almost impossible. And that's just some of the things I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm not reading off a list, I'm just literally thinking out loud, and there's probably other things I've not mentioned. Then you've got a thing which is panic, which you get in XCOM 2, but you've got soldiers where you've even almost completed a difficult mission and suddenly someone will panic, so you can't do anything about it, and you can't heal them to make them playable, so they'll just run around and you can't do anything, and they won't be able to be evacuated because you can't move them to the evacuation place. And like I said, I'm just thinking of random things, these other things in this game, and I would say, without even a question, actually, compared to the other games that I've played tactically, not just the games I've played tactically in the games they listed as the 10 most difficult, but just games I've played tactically anyway, I would say it's miles the most difficult. It's not even a comparison with XCOM 2 or even XCOM Enemy Within or Enemy Unknown. The other games I've mentioned, other tactical games I've played, CRPGs, which are kind of tactical turn-based, nothing is even in the same ballpark as Phoenix Point of how difficult it is. And you get to a point, whether you play the DLCs or not, where the alien things, you've got these massive things that jump around and fire out fireworms and poison worms, you've got other massive things that send out neural damage to people, and it gets to a point where it's almost impossible to kill some of those, and sometimes there's more than one or two of them, plus you've got all the other little aliens, and like I said, you've got the Forsaken and the Pure, other factions. And yeah, I don't think there's any game that's close to this. Like I said, there's games I've not played, which I'm not going to say this is more difficult, but I'd be amazed if they're more difficult than this. That's all I can say. Anyway, thanks for watching Guess Again Gaming. Till next time, take care for now.